Monthly, Creative Alliance Writers Circle supports your local poet and everything else, open mic. My name is Lackluster, it's a pleasure to be here tonight. I'm going to do a quick piece and then I'm going to hand it off to Ryan Bellows. This is called Sad Arson Hearts.
I only go for girls with dry wit and sad arson hearts. The ones I date lick lips, dragging Zippo clicks across their chests, playfully threatening to go through with it, and I'm a fool. I'm a fool for that, just a product of my environment. I'm not into girls that nibble on their fingertips, determined to sit because the future's stamped with hopelessness. I'm down with the defiant chicks that phoenix out when faced with foreclosure or having their copper dresses stripped. I've learned not all of us can be fixed, but I'm stuck on girls that repossess their own destinies. Even if that means the whole squatting inferno, Juliet, Romeo, poison dagger thing. I've spent dizzying nights with girls who giggle about their crumbling lipstick architecture in the bitter Michigan winter, wondering if a little fire will bring them clarity. As a kid, I dreamt about fixing the derelict buildings of my Midwestern city, all of which have since been erased by fire, work crews, and misery. I know nothing about CPs or girls and less about the real world, but I've known the sharp pain of heartbreak and disappointment well enough by now that it barely phases me. Sometimes I've seen you have to sacrifice a house full of dreams, even if that means setting up camp on a patch of new grass and reimagining it. Thank you. So I want to bring up our next poet, so please help me welcome a new face to our crowd. Give it up for James.
Okay.
That's the first time I'm here and I haven't read in a while. Breathing in, I feel calm. Breathing out, I feel at ease. Okay, here's the first poem. I didn't give it a title, but the people started digging in, yeah. Planting gardens and putting food away, digging in. Tribes started forming, breaking bread together, and eating at the common board, and sharing the bounty and digging in. And the people became one with the land. The land, not some ticky-tack transitory stop along consumers' treadmill. Consumers' treadmill. Break it down, break it down. Digging in and digging in. And the community became stronger with the baker, the candlestick maker, police woman, and doctor all digging in and playing and dancing and singing. Thank you. My heart's beating a little faster now.
We don't have a defib here.
What's that?
There's no defibrillator here. So.
That's all right. I'm 70, but I'm still hanging in there.
Yeah.
Okay. A lover's face to sum it up fulfillment. An icon of intimacy. Risking everything for love, I crash and burn. So I joined the French Foreign Legion and lost a leg the first day. What is in my broken heart but a door to the other world? There's no preparation for love's guidebook. It's the present moment's experience up on the high wire. This quivering light, this quivering love, on the precipice of eternity, like being in two places at once, gasping and squirming in the tide pool of evolution. And then compassion and love, dancing and leaping beyond survival. Two mental formations, competing for space and time. Remember? Remember when you were back in the oneness? No self, no lifespan. No birth and death, the unbearable lightness of being. I remember my emerging self in a furious moment, meeting my father and mother in a climactic moment, riding the crest of my ancestors' breath, discovering the moment my life began. I land in a nest of belonging, a self, a life, a lifespan, birth and death, and the longing, and the longing. I feel your love pulling me like a river. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get my going here now. I'll do one more. The crowds are overflowing out the doors and onto the streets. I was shooting Love's Rapids with my drama queen, watching the cathedral of capitalism crumble and fade, and consumerism farting pollution disappearing in a flaming skid mark across the sky.
Yeah.
While compound interest is being milled into compassionate sharing. My drama queen jumped out, hit the ground, rolled, rose up nimbly, and joined the crowd. Burning chrome, I waggled my life and put her into overdrive. Going hell-bent into the unknown, out of the box and over the edge. Hold back nothing. Laughing with a Mona Lisa smile. I throw away everything. Fate, jealous, gets off at the next stop. Sitting back, I wave goodbye and enjoy the ride. Then I met you and you and you, and was never the same again forevermore. Thank you.
Yeah. Give it one time for James. Before I bring in Chris with a personal anecdote, I just want you guys to know that on the back of that Voices flyer I gave out, there's announcements about upcoming creative collab nights for the Creative Alliance, which happens the third Wednesday of every month at Good Beans Cafe, which is 328 North Grand Traverse in Carriagetown. Good Beans Cafe, right off Grand Traverse and 2nd or 1st Avenue. And it's free. It goes from 7 to 10 on the third Wednesday of the month. It's got the rest of them for the year listed. There's an open canvas, people live paint, open mic for everything. You guys want to conference some poetry, do some music, read a story, it's all good. Just come on out. We have meetings in this very room the rest of the Wednesdays of the month for general business about the other stuff Great Minds do. You guys are just coming out. So without further ado, please help me welcome up Chris Reed.
All right.
Try to make this quick, man, because I gotta pee. Man, I love this place. Y'all love Churchills? I love Churchills, man. I love this place. Love it. I was gonna read something, but I didn't realize it was Poets Night and an open mic, so I didn't bring anything with me. But I do have a personal anecdote that I'd like to relate about this very place.
Relate it?
Yeah, got some pretty women here tonight. Didn't always used to be that way though. When I first started coming here back before I was married and everything, man, there weren't that many pretty women here at Churchills. I remember one time, man, I was sitting up at the bar, man. I was single, you know, trying to, you know, do my thing, you know, sitting there drinking, you know. And there's this dude sitting next to me, had this Lions jacket on. I remember that, had a Lions jacket on. I looked at him, I was like, hey, where's the pussy at, man? He looked at me, he's like, ain't no pussy here. I was like, damn, that is sad, you know, Saturday night and ain't no pussy at the bar. What am I supposed to do? I'm a young man, you know. He's like, dude, the only thing I can tell you, there's a bum out there passed out in the alley. He said, passed out like this. I put a quarter in his hand, you can fuck him in his nose.
Oh.
I was like, what? He's like, dude, I'm just telling you, man. I said, you are a nasty motherfucker. He's like, no, man, it ain't like that. He was like, everybody does it, dude. It ain't no big deal, you know. Fucking shit happens, right? You know, you gotta do what you gotta do. He's like, you got a quarter? I was like, I got a fucking quarter, but I ain't about to fucking give it to no bum so I can fuck him in his nose. He's like, all right, dude, whatever. So I'm like, man, this place is fucked up, you know. So had a couple more drinks, you know. Couple more drinks. Damn. Still ain't no women in the bar. I'm like, fuck. So I looked at the dude, I was like, hey man, where you said that bum's at? He's like, Dude, go out the back door, right across the alley next to the dumpster, dude. He's always there. I'm like, fuck. All right, you ain't gonna tell nobody, right? He's like, you ain't gonna tell nobody. All right. Reach in my pocket. Yeah, whatever. All right, cool. So I go out the back door, you know. Bum's fucking laid out right there where he said he was, man. All fucking laid out, all fucking nasty. Drool hanging out of his mouth. Empty bottle of Mad Dog on the ground next to him. Shoes untied and shit. I'm like, man. I felt sorry for him and shit, you know, where I was like, ain't no pussy in the bar, I ain't getting laid. It's like the only thing I want to do, right? So, get my quarter out, make sure nobody's looking. Put it in his hand, motherfucker's hand just automatically. I'm like, damn. So, but he didn't open his eyes, right? So, unzip my drawers, you know, pull them down a little bit. Did what I had to do, came all up inside his nose, man. Shot it all up in his nose. Fucking zipped it up, man. Walked back in the bar. Sat down back at the bar. Thanked the dude. He's like, thanks, man. He's like, anytime, man. Felt kind of bad about it, but had a few more drinks and forgot about it, you know, like whatever. Game was on, watching the Lions again, or the Pistons, wherever the fuck it was, I don't know. Anyway, a few minutes later, somebody taps me on my shoulder, you know. I turn around and I was like, it's a fucking bum, dude. He's like standing behind me. I'm like, holy shit. He's like, you the one who fucked me in my nose? I'm like, oh shit. You know? Oh my fucking God. He's like, did you fuck me in my nose? I was like, yeah, man, I fucked you in your nose, dude. I'm sorry, man. It's this motherfucker. He told me to do it. I looked, dude was gone. Ain't nobody sitting there. I was like, fuck. So he's like, Bum's like, you got syphilis? I said, no. He's like, you got herpes? I said, no, man, I ain't got none of that shit. He's like, you ain't got AIDS, do you? I said, no, dude, I'm clean, right? He said, thanks.
Yeah. That's all not disgusting. That was very personal.
That was not a joke. That was fucking happening.
Well, to follow that, which is difficult, I'm gonna read a poem if you guys don't mind. That's cool, say cool. Okay? Well, I don't have to read. If it's cool, say cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
I was a little that for a
We're
second.
still in shock.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, this isn't quite the same thing, but the title is Horny Ski Mask Demons.
Oh.
Yeah.
So, it's personal too.
No,
right?
no nose fucking, all right?
Sure it is.
It starts out something like this.
I'll even read the intro, which I never do.
It starts out. There's a sick hipster appeal to living in a town this real. There's little here for fun and home is hell for some who dip out to craft big city lives from the scraps of kings. The best of us hired as escape artists at age 18, but there's no need to blame the evacuees. They did their time. And only God knows what it means when most fields in the city were first... And only God knows what it means when most fields in the city were first built up dreams burnt down rapidly to erase bad memories. The boom times are gone and so is prosperity. The only boom that makes money now involves liquor store robbery and business is good. Behind weed, greed, and exploitation is the backbone of our economy. Heavens forbid someone forgive the need to survive and no one provides hope or a living salary. Unions establish a false sense of security, but the ease of certain things like summoning cash by smiling, smug, sawed-off fangs reminds us that the devil works in mysterious ways when coping with desperation and hunger pains, or of seeking alternatives to the martyrdom of minimum wage. Even with paradise underfoot, inner demons cause generational pain. Maybe instead of being the destitute descendants of opportunity's haze, perhaps horny ski-mask demons is a more fitting phrase. Isn't that what the headlines read? Action news spicing up the verbiage, planting seeds. And in TV times like these, everybody needs a sacrificial savior to disrupt the feed, or a monk making a stand in gasoline from the field at ease and take their leave, but that's not me. Fiends seeking their funeral by fire truck should crack a beer and look as Arson City cashes in on bad luck and low self-esteem. Slash wrists, spewing flames, delayed results of fools falling for a hangman's dream while leaders drive away in four-wheel ironies trailed by folded factories. Stay here long enough and there's a real chance of getting stuck, stoned to broke in a pothole rut. A loony wolf tricked in twiddling thumbs while the trapper comes instead of gnawing off its own foot. For a second, imagine starting over as the same kitty cherubs, still choosing to chisel wild horns and woolen halos. But this time, let it be lightning. This time, as a trusty corporate angel, rob the system and earn yourself a bailout because, well, everyone agrees that you should agree to everything when referred to a pair of split-kiss pistol lips mouthing seriousness for some dumb, gunmetal ventriloquist. The truth is obvious to any idiot that the security camera's paparazzi enough to know you won't get away with it. Funny, how many registers are already stripped down to their nickels and cents before the bad guys arrive to cash out the Coinstar contents? Corporate crooks still collecting decades worth of ruinous rents. Nothing left to steal in Flint except the fillings from our teeth, so thank God mine are made from PVC. Half the population lives up to polluted expectations and never leaves the shallow sea. Raised from tadpoles and chlorine fountains, surviving with deformities. Waiting to steal kisses from a non-existent princess while croaking on modernity. Possessed with angry notions, the young trade salvation for a 23, destined to repeat the cycle until hellbound, shot down, or murderous, rich and free. End of the day, we sacrifice ourselves, even though there's nothing left but vast foundation slabs like wailing walls where the temple used to be. True believers conditioned to die or live trying. Nothing to do but keep moving and laugh about this tragedy. Thanks. Yeah.
That's really your first poem. My birthday's May 1st, so it was really cool to hear some knowledge.
And I just wanted to point out that we're the only open mic in Flint with lasers, so good for us. We're cool like that. And before I bring up our next one, I'd like to thank DJ Michael A for setting up the lasers, for setting up the fog machines here. Every Saturday, he's going to be here tonight. It's free. Just stay afterwards, check out some cool music with Wayback Machine, and I think Ruby Tuesdays is still going at the Loft. Yep. Every Tuesday, so check it out. He's the man. So let me bring him up. Please welcome Michael A.
I'd also like to announce, if I could, next week here at Churchills, if you like the band Oh My God from Chicago, two of the members of Oh My God have another band called the Claudettes, and they will be here playing live music, and it will be very, very fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am distant from these thoughts of mine. They are pale, indistinct, echoing down empty hallways, signaling to me like distant semaphore. I cannot divine the meaning because I have forgotten the code. Secret codes, symptoms of thoughts, representations of ideas, collections and collations, and it's drifting in and out of focus, slow like the tides. I think this mic's up a little too high for my big voice. It was still a little Janet level. Watch the screen. Only time passing and exploded words. Vision, time, and right angles. Bend your breath to warm the light. And when the mist clears, you're scrolling slowly down the page. And somewhere, so am I. And we are tapping at the pipes in a complicated and unsecret code. Can you hear me? That's my I'm done motion, in case I hadn't mentioned that before. My brain is a buzzing beehive, and I cannot behave. I cannot be held by anything other than your temporary arms. 2 nickels I've thrown in a wishing well, knowing all too well what they are made of, watching and waiting for them to float back up, to circle each other again. The great thing about writing really short poems is you get more applause. I like that. I require positive reinforcement. This is a true story and it's very short. I am inadvisably thrilled by the tentative touch of an intoxicated tongue, like the gentle brush of a butterfly's wing. I like the snapping, that's good. Bastard. This is my, in my world of very short poems, this is like my Freebird. This is about as long as it gets for me. It's called Land/Love. You cannot own love any more than you can own land. You can pay someone for land, you can stake it out and claim it, you can guard it and fence it off, but the land will be there long after you are dust. And your children and their children and their children too are all dust. Love, too, was here long before us and will be there long after us. And all you and I can really do with land and love is thank God or Goddess or Great Spirit or whatever for every moment we get to spend there. Thank you.
I like that. Beehive, beheld, behave. So we got one more poet, and I'll bring back Johnese real quick. So this is the Creative Alliance's new director, interim director of membership, right? Yeah. So if you guys come to meetings on Wednesdays, you know Mike, you're going to see her, she's going to get involved. You guys should get involved too, is kind of what I'm hitting at. So we are communities, we make ourselves into a community. We work together. So if you guys feel kind of work together, it's all cool. We're all cool people. Come check it out Wednesday at 7 o'clock. So please help me welcome up Aisha.
Kills me with this light. I only got a couple. This person called warning shots. Warning shots go off like car alarms as regret lines crevices and like relevance, falling victim to the words never said. I once crossed my fingers for good measure as I tossed coins into moving fountains, wished upon ladybugs on a setting sun as I held them in my hands. But nothing was more powerful than your sacrificial drowning in today's liquor store special. I soon realized you were no longer the man I loved, but a formless entity of his previous existence, cultured from empty bottles left in your own darkness. So every night I fall asleep to the sounds of a city that has yet to lay its mind to rest. Hoping I don't wake up with the taste of aftermath upon my lips, I naively attempt to lie to myself by imagining some nonsense coated with hypocrisy. But broken bottles break beneath silent footsteps as hope suffocates in yesterday's buzz and tomorrow's anticipated intoxication. So every morning I wake to face the music of my reality. Hoping I can cover the evidence from dusk to dawn, I carve my sorrows into the stitches of my pillowcase and upon the rim of my voice box. You once said in too few words that the proof was never strong enough. Questioning your actions, my concern is not aesthetically pleasing, nor is it convenient on days I wish I could disguise it better. Through the floorboards, forgiveness speaks, but it's difficult to hear the muffled cries when warning shots go off like car alarms in a city that never sleeps. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, the second one I wrote a couple weeks ago. It's called We Held Our Breath. We held our breath, closed our eyes, clenched our wrists, and told our bodies it would be okay. But we lied. On all days that started with the sunrise, it was easier that way. Or so we were told. Truth never survived our footsteps. Its ashes grow roots in our past, and we're left to decipher the untold stories of our ancestors. Afraid to listen, we ignore their cries, place apologies over their lips, and whisper good intentions into their ears, believing one day we too will become unsung heroes. But we lied. Silence rarely conquers evil, and love is hard to come by, so we made do with little white lies and broken promises. Wishing we could hold time in our hands, we send prayers up for the fallen. In other words of encouragement to the innocent. But that never works. The pain never goes away, and bruised knees follow broken hearts. So we stand powerless, looking fear in the eyes, watching reality get injected into our veins, and waiting to be paralyzed by our own circumstances, believing mercy is the only rule. That fight is a foreign language and courage never existed. So we held our breath, closed our eyes, clenched our wrists and told our bodies it would be okay. But we lied. Thanks.
All right. Yeah. That was worth some props. Yeah.
That's cool.
You want to come up and do your piece?
That's my last one.
Give it up for Johnese.
This piece I wrote in October 2011. It kind of shows like how I've transitioned over the years, because of the previous piece, even though I muffled over it, and I wrote it in 05, but this one I wrote in 2011. It's called I Am Love. I figured it out. My thoughts are mere images of my heart's cry. And I realize that this reality dissolves as the light illumes from your eyes. I'm shifted and lifted high into, yet from the abyss of our very existence. I can see it clearly. The light is so bright, it's blinding me. I don't know where I'm going, but I am willing to walk into the shadows of the crowded rooms where the light seems dim and souls are asleep and do not see. There is a higher reality. It's love. The silent unconditioned that most fail to mention. Do you hear it? Can you find it? It's spoken and sung like hymns from cherubim whistling melodies that boils without reaching 212 degrees from no thing. At light speed, it's a painted symphony, capturing the essence with sound, the bagpipe, the two-headed drum, a harp. Oh, can you hear that sound? It shapes and creates, never taken away. It's love, simply put. Uttered from a child's breath with no regrets, and yet it fills every room. See, hear, with the eye behind the eye and the ear behind the ear. I am love.
Yeah. Does anyone else got another poem they want to do real quick? All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out. Please stay and enjoy DJ Michael A. and his Windback Machine. I'm Lackluster. This has been another Support Your Local Poet open mic. I will see you in 2 months on the first Saturday, which is, I believe, June 2nd, 9 p.m. It's Fair Room. Check it out. Peace out, guys.